to the show. You know that old saying, home is where the heart is? Well, today we are taking that idea and really running with it. You're gonna get a sneak peek into some of our experts' homes and routines, starting with yours truly. Now, after a long day hanging out here, working on the show, what do I get up to when I get home? Let's take a look, shall we?
Hey everybody, welcome to my house. After a good long day shooting the good stuff, this is where I come, hang out, do my thing, and even though I spend, most of the day cooking, my favorite thing to do when I get home is make some dinner. On days like today where I'm not really sure what I'm gonna make for dinner, I usually just preheat my oven to 425, chuck some vegetables in there, and hope for the best. Now the first thing I do when I get home is typically open the fridge, see what we've got going. So I'm feeling veg, and honestly, I don't really know what I'm gonna make. Comes out delicious 99% of the time. I've got some peppers, eggplant, a couple of onions, and some zucchini. Really any sort of good veg that's good for roasting. To be honest, most veg are good for roasting. I usually go for heartier stuff, but today I'm feeling a little, maybe French. Now, once you've chopped up enough vegetables to kind of just cover your entire cutting board, this is my favorite thing to do. Shove them over. A little neater than that. I was a little vigorous. Already I can tell this is gonna be delicious. Thanks, Aaron.
No problem.
I'm feeling good about this. Honestly though, sweet potatoes, regular potatoes, onions, cauliflower, broccoli, put whatever you want on a pan, oil, salt, pepper, whatever herb you want, whatever spice you want, and chuck it in an oven. The veg is roasting. I've still got some herbs going in my garden, so I'm feeling like I'm gonna get some oregano, maybe a little bit of thyme. Those seem French. And probably gonna make something starchy, something a little saucy, and then put it all together. See what we get. We'll see you at the end. It's gonna be delicious. Oh, there's a bug. Okay.
Mary?
Yeah?
What you doing?
Filming.
Oh, okay, I'll come later.
A rare Berg cameo. All right, and there you have it. A kind of sort of French ratatouille situation made out of just roasted vegetables. Moral of the story, kids, roast your vegetables. You'll figure it out later. I'll also write this recipe down and share it with you. Don't worry. Come.
Honestly, I was pretty pumped about that dinner. It's true though, I get home and I don't know what to do. I'm the same. I like, what am I gonna make? Pop the oven onto 425, chuck your stuff in there, and you are good to go. But you'd think that when I get home after cooking all day, the last thing I'd wanna do is get to cooking. Not the case. I still love cooking, and it is an absolute dream. But most of the time, I really don't know what I'm gonna do. And eating that ratatouille last night for lunch today, absolute dream. And I'm gonna write that recipe up for you soon. It's not ready yet. I gotta do that. But right now, I wanted to make another super quick and homey classic that's also easy on the wallet. We're talking turkey schnitzel. How does that sound? I'm excited. Turkey schnitzel is absolutely delicious. Typically, schnitzel is made with pork, which is great. You could do pork tenderloin, pork loin, whatever. But I love turkey because turkey breasts are huge, and you can serve 4 people with 1 turkey breast. Now, you wanna look for one that's about 1 kilo. If it's a little bit smaller, you might wanna get 2. But it's really, really great because turkey, unless you're buying it really at Thanksgiving or Christmas, is always inexpensive, which is an absolute dream. So I've got a turkey breast that I've just cut into 4 equal-ish pieces. I've got 1 just here. And when you're cutting anything that you're looking to flatten, whether it's a chicken breast, a turkey breast, anything like that, when you think about a chicken breast, I'm gonna use my hand as an example. When you're cutting into it, if you cook it normally, you kind of cut it this way to eat off the end. But you notice the grain in the chicken breast kind of runs this way. So when you cut it into chunks to flatten, flip them this way so that the grain is going up and down, and it's gonna make it a lot easier to pound out flat, which is exactly what you want for a schnitzel. So I've got mine sitting like that, looking all pretty and delicious. Well, not yet, it's actually raw, so it's not delicious yet. Don't need it yet. But now we want to flatten this out. I always like to use a piece of parchment paper on top just to make sure things kind of stay contained. Now, if you are at home and you have something like this, a meat mallet, great. Fantastic, go for it. Personally, I do not have a meat mallet because this is kind of a unitasker. It only does one thing in the kitchen, so I'm not using that. If you don't have that, you could always use a heavy bottomed skillet, something like a cast iron or a stainless steel skillet. That one you want to be a little gentle with because it's pretty heavy. But my personal favorite implement for pretty much most things in the kitchen, good old fashioned rolling pin. Always good. This baby, good for making pie, good for flattening stuff out. It's a joy, so let's get going. All you want to do is just kind of go to town on it. When you are trying to flatten out some meat, I'm trying to talk in between all the smashing so we can hear, I'm really waving this thing around today. You want to get it about 3/4 of a centimeter flat, and while you are doing this, you kind of want to hit it like you're playing a timpani, if that makes sense to anyone. You kind of hit and go out, kind of like you're, does that make sense? Because if I was just to go straight down, I might blast it in half, and we don't want to do that. So just get that nice and flat. Once it's pounded flat, you're going to get something that looks a little like this. And this is just 1/4 of a turkey breast. Do you see how big that is? That is like bigger than my hand. That's absolutely huge. So that is looking absolutely perfect. I'm gonna season that up with a little bit of salt, as well as a little bit of pepper. Perfect. And then we're gonna make a little bit of a dredge situation. Now, typically I like to just do like egg and panko, but for this schnitzel, I really wanna make sure it stays on there really well. So I've got that going, and into a shallow dish or a pie plate, I'm gonna go in with 1 cup of flour. Pop that on in. And I'm gonna season this. I'm gonna go in with about a 1/2 teaspoon of some garlic powder, just to give it a little bit of flavor. But if you wanted, you could do some spices, whatever you're feeling. Season that up with some salt. I'm going to move my oil, because audiences might notice she is smoking. So we're gonna be careful and ignore her for a while. We good, okay, cool. And then I'm just gonna give that a little bit of a whisk together. Now, into the second little dish, I'm gonna go in and make what I call my signature Mary Berg's food gloop. And food gloop is egg and mayonnaise. Egg is typically what you do when you're doing a breading station, but I'm gonna go in with 2 eggs. And as opposed to just doing the eggs, I wanna go in also with a little bit of mayonnaise. That mayonnaise already has egg in it. It also has a little bit of oil, a little bit of flavoring, and it helps make it a lot thicker and gloopier. That's why it's called food gloop. So I'm gonna go in with about 4 tablespoons, about a 1/4 cup of that mayonnaise, and just give that a whisk. Now, for a little bit of additional flavor, because this is schnitzel, and schnitzel is kind of a German recipe, I'm also gonna go in with some mustard, a little bit of Dijon mustard. If you had English mustard, you could do that. It's a little bit spicier though, so I'd hold back a bit. I'm gonna go in with a full tablespoon of Dijon though. If you wanted, you could do grainy. I'm going smooth though, because it's gonna help with the gloopiness. And if you take a look at this mixture, I don't think there's another way to describe it. It looks like gloop. It doesn't look that great, but it is super sticky. It's got extra flavor in it, and it's gonna make sure all of the crunch sticks on there. So for the crunch, I have got panko here. Panko breadcrumbs are a Japanese breadcrumb. If you don't have panko, you can use regular breadcrumbs. That'll work just fine. But now to dredge that, you grab that turkey that you've got nice and flattened, pop it on into the flour, give it a toss around, just to go coat. Now, as I kind of alluded to, we are gonna be frying this in a little bit of canola oil, but if you wanted to bake this, you could totally do that too. I would just make that panko golden brown. I would pop it into a pan with a little bit of butter, get it nice and golden, and then you can bake it in the oven until it's perfectly done. By browning it first, you ensure that you're gonna get a golden brown finish on there, so it's gonna look deep fried, but it's not deep fried. But today, we're going big. We're gonna deep fry. All right, into that panko we go. Give that a nice press. Make as much of a mess as you can. That's always key. Perfect. And then we are gonna go into our oil. Now, I have my oil here. It is over medium. This stove doesn't know what medium means sometimes, so it does its thing. So I'm gonna go right on in. Now, anytime you are laying something into hot oil, you wanna do it away from you. So put it in closest to you, and then lay it flat this way. Just in case you get a little bit of a spill, it's not gonna be an emergency. All right, you can already see this starting to go golden brown. That's gonna take about 3 minutes per side. I'm gonna let that do its thing. While that gets cooking, I'm gonna get to work on a delicious kind of slaw situation to go with this. So I've got a bowl here. Into there, I'm gonna go in with about 1/2 of a lemon juiced right on into that serving bowl. Then for a little more acidity, I'm going in with 3 tablespoons of white vinegar rather. You could also do white wine, you could do apple cider. This is gonna kind of cut through that deep fry of that schnitzel and make it nice and delish. To counteract all of that acidity, half a teaspoon of sugar is gonna go in. I'm also gonna go in with about half a teaspoon of that Dijon mustard, just for a little bit of flavor. Give that a whisk. Wait, I need another whisk, 1 second. I'm finally, after 3 years, aware of where the whisks are. Feeling pretty good about it. Give that a good whisk. Season that up with a little bit of salt. You can also go in with some pepper. And then I'm just using a neutral oil. I'm going in with canola oil. You could also do olive oil, about a 1/4 cup, whisked right on in. Beautiful, beautiful. And then for the slaw, I love Napa cabbage, or Savoy cabbage. Napa or Savoy are a little bit softer, really, really nice, but if you just had green cabbage, feel free to use that. You could also just buy a bag of pre-made coleslaw. I'm gonna pop that right on into the bowl, along with some thinly sliced red onion for a little bit of crunch and spice, and then a little bit of thinly sliced cucumber. If you want, you could do peppers, you could do carrots, whatever you're feeling. I'm gonna get this going. I'm gonna flip this schnitz. We're gonna take a break, but when we come back, we're gonna put it all together.
Tomorrow on an all-new episode, Alexis Hans shows how to get the look for less with fashion dupes that bring high style without the price tag. Plus, Vijaya Selvaraju has the tastiest restaurant dupes you can make right at home.
Is that good? I'm not putting this down. Yeah, go for it.
And Leanna Lair-Perot reveals the best dollar store dupes that just might surprise you. That's tomorrow on an all-new episode.
Kitchen, and can you even deal with how good that looks? Listen, if you wanted to bake this turkey schnitzel, you totally can. You just want to brown that golden brown panko beforehand. But why would you when you can have something that looks like this? It's so good. Oh my gosh. It's a dream. All right, so that schnitzel's been cooking for just about 3 minutes per side. Since we pounded it nice and thin, it cooks up really, really quickly, which is a dream. So I'm just gonna transfer that onto a sheet pan lined with a rack. That makes sure any excess oil kind of drips away. But while it's still hot, I'm gonna season that up with some salt. Just go right on there. While it's still warm, you're gonna get that salt to stick on there beautifully. I personally, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm really pumped about this piece of turkey schnitzel because it kind of looks like a bunny. Can you tell? What a thrill. These are the things that bring me joy in my life. All right, this is looking beautiful. You've got that golden brown crunch. If you were making this in advance, you can pop it into a low 200-degree oven. It'll stay crispy on the outside. It won't be as crunchy, but it'll still be delicious, so you're good to go. All right, now to serve this up, you grab your beautiful piece of turkey schnitzel. We're gonna go with the bunny piece because it's a thrill. And look at the size of this thing. With a one kilo turkey breast, that's only about half a pound, or sorry, a quarter, no, it is half a pound, 250 grams. Guys, metric to imperial, what a time. Looking beautiful. I'm gonna serve that up with that slaw on the side just to cut through the richness. That little bit of onion, that little bit of cucumber on there as well. For me, I love serving it up with a little bit of lemon juice right on top, just to cut through, again, that fat. And then I love mustard, so a little bit of mustard on the side. If you wanted to, you could do a little Dijonnaise, which is just mustard and Dijon mixed together. That would be absolutely beautiful. But to me, that looks like such a great dinner to sit down to. Super inexpensive, quick to put together, and an absolute dream. So I feel like when you're, and delicious, thank you. I appreciate that. I feel like we should check, though, how delicious it is. So let's give it a little cut, see what's going on. And I don't know about you, but when I make turkey schnitzel, I like to share it with my friend named Greg. Greg, I'm coming for you. Okay, let's see what Greg thinks. I think this is Greg's television debut. I'm gonna feed you, Greg. Okay. Okay, let's do this thing. Greg says it's a winner. We gotta take a break and we'll be right back.
Up next, we're stepping inside Megan Arthur's home to see how intentional organizing can transform your space. That's up next.
Today, we are taking a look into our experts' homes, and I can bet that this one is gonna be the most organized. Check it out.
Hey guys, welcome to my home. As a professional organizer, the number one thing I get asked all the time is, Megan, how do you organize your personal space? Now, I'm a pretty private person, but for my friend Mary and the good stuff, I'm gonna give you a little sneak peek behind the curtain. Okay, my kitchen. The coffee maker probably gets used the most. I'm addicted to coffee, I'm not even gonna lie about it, and this is where the magic happens. My kitchen doesn't look like there's a lot of space, but for one person, it's very doable. I have spices, oil and vinegars, my plates. There's a home for everything. I'm more of the type of person that goes to the store frequently, buys fresh and buys in small quantities, and then I make my food that day. Fun fact about Megan, I've never used this. So I've been here 2.5 years. I've literally never used the dishwasher. I have a dining nook in my home, and I'm gonna be honest, not a lot of dining happens there. This is really the place that I do eat sometimes, but I do a lot of work and a lot of creative work for my business in that area. So one thing though that you guys don't know about me is that I'm a super spiritual person. So every week I have 8 fresh oranges in my dining nook because it represents abundance. It doesn't have a lot of clutter. It's super minimal. There's some gentle textures, really neutral colors. And when there's a more minimal space, I feel like I have a lot more creative freedom. So should we go to the living room? Let's go to the living room. So the living room is one of my favorite places in the home because it's just so calm and comfortable. It's funny, I actually have no storage in my living room, which was very intentional. Half space will fill, so they say. So if there's lots of extra drawers, I'm probably just gonna put things in it. So very little storage and very calm mood. I can recharge. There's some textures here, there's some neutral colors, but it's a place that I can wind down after a super busy day of work. So when I first moved in, the closet lacked function, and it was really what I call a builder's basic. There was upper shelving, hanging space, and that's it. So I had installed my own shoe shelves, but over time, it really lacked personality, and to be honest, I started to feel a little uninspired in the space. So I reached out to a local closet company in Toronto called yourclosets.ca, and they came over and they did this whole design of my space. Okay, my newly renovated closet, so lots of hanging space. I have high hang, I have low hang, I have a tower for handbags, I have another tower for sweaters, and then behind me, I'm a big sneaker fan, so fitness sneakers, I have some baskets here, and drawers, which are super helpful so nothing gets lost and everything is nice and tidy. Thanks so much for coming to my home. Now you know a little bit more about how I organize my personal space. Mary, I'll see you back in the studio.
Megan Arthur's practicing what she preaches. Hello, Megan.
Hey, Mary.
Okay, I am obsessed with the closet. I have a question. How the jeans? Have we hung them like that on the show before?
I think we have.
Where it's like the loop goes around the hook.
Exactly.
Genius.
Safe space.
Yes. Honestly, I gotta go home and do some jean hanging. All right. But I love how every single thing in your home has a purpose and a place, which is kind of your lesson today. What are we getting into?
Yes, so we're talking about intentional living,
Yeah.
which is what I live by, and it's really about creating spaces that support how you want to feel and how you want to live every day. But an intentional home doesn't necessarily have random items. Like everything is really selected with purpose because you love the items, you use the items, and then that way the home can support your routine and lifestyle.
Okay, so you're gonna share 3 ways that we can kind of practice this intentional living. And we're gonna start over here. What's going on?
This here is all about habits.
Okay.
So your space can really affect your habits. And sometimes we go through different phases and stages of life where we're like, you know what, I actually want to take up exercising at home.
Yeah.
Or I want to maybe read a book. So this is really curated for me personally because I want to get into reading more in the evening into my routine.
Girl, welcome. I love
Right?
reading. I got book recos for you.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
Mary. Let's chat after. But But when your home doesn't have that space to support your habits, you're not going to be doing it,
No,
right?
totally.
Okay, so the three main things you want to consider is it accessible?
Yeah.
Is it visible? And is it intentional?
Okay.
So this is for sure visible. We have a little nook here. We have a cute chair. We have the book literally staring at me like, hey, Megan,
Yeah.
remember that habit you wanted to create? A really cute basket, a throw blanket. It's super accessible. I don't have to move around furniture to get to it. I don't have to get a little step stool to reach the book. Like, it's all there ready for me. And when you set up your space to support your habits, whether they're old or new habits, you can implement them so much more easily.
Is this kind of to do with that detoxing?
So the detoxing is, you're gonna laugh at me, but we're gonna dive into it. It's all about my cell phone.
Okay.
So I like to have a clutter-free phone. Now, this is not for everyone. Full transparency. This is what I call like living on the edge for Megan. Like some people go skydiving. I delete all my messages.
Oh, okay. Oh, I like this.
So we typically have.
You're never allowed to look at my phone.
Yeah, there's two types of people in the world. There's the ones with like the red circle, and it's like 5,000 emails, and then it's like, hey, I'm over here.
Yeah.
So we typically have two inboxes on our phone, one for emails and one for texting. So for my email inbox, when there are new ones that are coming in, I either delete them, I unsubscribe if I'm like, I don't care about that.
Yeah.
Or if they're important to me, I move them to a new folder, like if it's an appointment or if it's something for work that I've pre-created. So I have folders within the inbox. A lot of people do that.
Yeah, totally.
And then with the texting, I just delete them. But if they're super important, I'm like, oh, I may have to refer to that. I take a screenshot of it. And I know it sounds wild. You're like, this girl's wild. The reason I do it is because when I see messages in the inbox, in my brain, I'm like, oh, that's a task I have to do. And then I carry that mental clutter with me throughout the day, and I'm like, I don't want to deal with that.
Totally. I love that. I read every email. I do not read text messages. Just a heads up, everybody. Just so all right, where are we moving on to?
Okay, so we're talking about categorizing and grouping. Okay, this is interesting. So our eyes are constantly scanning, right? So sometimes we're scanning piles of clutter and dishes and laundry, and it affects your nervous system.
Yeah.
It causes a lot of stress. That's why when you go to a bookstore, do not like walk into a bookstore and immediately you're like, I feel so calm.
Yes.
Like, why do I not hang out at the bookstore more often? It's because it's categorized and it's grouped, and you can do this in your own home without spending $1, and you can start with folding your linens. So we have two piles here. One is a little bit messy. This is folded in all sorts of ways. It's not wrong, by the way. I'm just saying, it's not, if you do that, like, no shame on you. It's okay. But you could also fold them in all the same way and stack them so they're uniformed, and it can lower a little bit of stress.
You know what? You're right. It's that less visual clutter, and it just makes you feel like you're like, okay, I'm good. Everything's fine. Yeah.
And the same with jars. You can have different size jars. Again, it's not wrong to have different size jars. It may work for you.
Yeah.
But if you have all the same jars with the same lids and the same font label, sometimes it can lower that stress and reduce that overwhelm in your home in general.
Okay, that is fantastic. Megan, thank you so much for keeping us in and studio audience to help you create a cozy zone like Megan in your home. Thanks to IKEA, you're all going home with this basket and throw blanket. Fantastic. Thanks so much, Megan. Great job. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. That was great.
Coming up, Samantha Pynn welcomes us into her home for a color lesson that'll brighten any room. Stay tuned.
If you've ever wondered how to add color to your space, designer Samantha Pynn gives us a sneak peek at how she did it in her own home.
Welcome to my home, Mary. Let me show you around. What I love about this room is this feeling of space and openness and airiness. Let me share some design tricks with you. First off, I have two sofas that are facing into one another, and they're upholstered in the same color fabric as the walls. That gives you a feeling of spaciousness. They're facing into one another, and then there's a narrow coffee table. Again, that adds to that open feeling, and it provides a space for people to just sit, hang out, and talk to one another. There's this console here and a beautiful piece of art in the center, and then I added the molding all around the room. But that center art is what gives the room balance and symmetry. And I'll admit, sometimes there's a TV there. Directly across from the living room is the dining room, and I wanted to have some fun, so I painted it in this beautiful rose color. It's a floral color. It's actually called Bloom. And you'll notice that throughout the space, there's a lot of florally pink tones in the cushions and in the art, so it just felt natural to have a pink dining room. Even if you have a tiny dining room, don't think that you can't have lots of seating. So I added in a giant bench and then a couple of chairs. Of course, old buildings come with quirks. And in this case, this building has radiators. So we covered the radiator with a beautiful cover that's got a bit of caning that mirrors the chairs, and it doubles as a console. You can't go wrong with color from nature. You just can't. And you wouldn't think that all these colors would work together, but they're all very leafy and floral inspired. They're wood tones that are rosewood tones, and it all just works together beautifully. Let's move on to the bedroom. Whenever I can, I love to decorate with color. So in the bedroom, I've painted it this beautiful green and very, again, nature inspired. To me, it's like the next best thing to flowers. Of course, in the bedroom, you're gonna notice space. We've got lots of it. So I really wanted to create a symmetrical layout. We've got a king-size bed, 2 bedside tables on either side, and that really creates balance and symmetry. You don't have to do identical ones, but you want your lamps to at least be at the same height. And here's another little trick. If you've got 2 lamps that aren't at the same height, stack a couple of books and make them even. I really enjoyed showing you around. I hope that my space can inspire you to get creative in yours.
Absolutely beautiful. Everyone, please welcome Samantha Pynn. Hi, Samantha. That was beautiful. So serene and stunning. Oh my gosh, thank you for taking us on a tour.
Oh my goodness, thanks for having me.
Yes. Okay, now we are here to talk about color. When it comes to color, bold color is back, which I am thrilled about personally. Let's talk about the wall. Let's start there.
Okay, yeah. Bold color is huge right now. All color is huge. We're getting really deeply expressive and personal with our color. So here we have a color called Muse. So this is a color of the year. And we haven't seen this color since the 90s, right? It's new, it's nostalgic. This is from Beauty Tone at Home Hardware. And we used to call it hunter green or forest green.
Yeah.
Remember that? My bedroom was painted in and I had a matching comforter and a
Oh,
bag.
yeah, yeah.
But so now we're seeing it again everywhere. And we're gonna be seeing greens everywhere. We're also gonna be seeing terracotta.
This is beautiful.
This is a little bit lighter than the terracotta of like the 70s, right? Like it's a bit brighter. It's called dusted terracotta. Also a big 2026 color trend. You're gonna see them in stores, on our socials. All we're seeing is color. And it's like, how do we use color so that, like you saw in my play, so that if you're a bit nervous about color, it's like, how do I get that really gorgeous, bold color without feeling like, oh my goodness, like I'm overwhelmed by this color and I don't know what to do.
See, this is key. I personally am someone who tends to decorate when it comes to color like a clown. Like I love color. Every wall in my house is like boom, 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 because I love it. But for people who are maybe a little more nervous of it than I am, you've got some great kind of tips here.
I love it. I have a friend who calls it circus carnival
Circus,
decorating.
that's me.
And if you're that person, then great. But if you're someone who's like, when you paint, you can do what I did in my bedroom. So you can paint the top 1/3 in a neutral color, and that moves around the rest of your house, and the lower 2/3 in one of those really great trend colors.
Yeah, beautiful.
Right?
I love
or
that.
a color that speaks to you and that you love. You can also do wainscoting. Then when it comes to furniture, you can go neutral. I think going neutral is the best thing if you have like a little bit of color makes you nervous and your palms sweat a bit.
Totally, and also if you have neutral furniture, you can kind of keep up if you're someone who also wants to keep up with the trends as they're going.
because it allows you to switch things. So we have these really lovely tub chairs that are on a swivel base that are from HomeSense. They actually are swivel chairs.
love a
I
swivel,
know.
yes.
I know.
Yeah.
I used to spin as a kid.
Yeah.
But with, the wood so this is a creamy as a neutral. Then we have the wood detailing, also neutral, wood coffee table, touches of black, touches of gold, and then a sisal and wool rug. Those are all great neutral grounding pieces. And you can play around, and it allows you to then play with color and colorful cushions. And I thought it would be fun if we played a little bit.
I am thrilled. Okay, so we're starting here kind of with that neutral base with what we've got going on here. Yeah.
But we have tonal cushions. So these pillows are all from Tonic Living, which is like pillow heaven.
Oh, I love a pillow.
So, right?
Yeah,
And-
much to the chagrin of my husband, so many pillows. Yeah.
yeah, you can't sit on my sofa
No,
sometimes.
you have to move them.
But the power of pillows and the power of paint is incredible. And it's what stylists and decorators use to really tell the story and the color personality of who lives in the home. So this is tonal.
Okay.
So I've got tonal greens and just touches of blue. On your side, terracotta, dusted terracotta, and then you've got the nutmeg and soft pink. So that's all tonal monochromatic, right?
Beautiful.
So then if you switch up,
Yeah.
so you take yours off.
Oh, she's cute. I like
Right?
this. Yeah. Oh, I'm a
Okay.
designer. I got it. I did it. Yeah.
You're amazing.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
So this is analogous color, and we're talking about really nostalgic colors, right? And so we're talking about the color wheel.
Yes.
And so here you have paprika and nutmeg and camel, which are just fancy words for like red, orange, and yellow,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So these are colors that are side by side on the color wheel. They're called analogous.
Oh.
I have blue,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So green and blue, this beautiful deep green. So we have a beautiful lakeside green on this cushion, right? And so that's how you do it. You got to go to the color wheel and be like, oh, if I want soothing tones, I'm going with analogous color.
Oh, here we go. I see that. So it's got the green and blues next to it, and same with that kind of terracotta orange. We've got the gold and the kind of reds.
I could go yellow with this deep green, and it would be beautiful. And you as long you're there, you've got the yellows, the reds, and
Yeah.
So just keep it either keep it tonal,
Yep.
and then or keep it analogous. But then if you want to go a little crazy, can we toss pillows? and
1000%.
swap?
Let's do
Okay.
this thing.
All right.
Okay, this is where we get sportsy. Okay, one,
Okay.
2, 3.
know.
Okay.
I failed, Jim.
That was good.
Okay, here you go. So we just kind of swapped,
Okay.
right? And this is complementary color, which is opposite colors on the color
Which I
wheel.
feel like is the one that I remember learning the most in art class as a kid. Yeah.
And those are the colors that I know you love.
Yeah.
Like you are complementary color, right? And so when you've got terracotta, then if you've got a beautiful green, you could also do a blue because orange and blue are opposite one another on the color wheel. That gives you a more vibrant, energetic space. That's what you're all about.
I love that. And that's the same thing. So we've got kind of those two opposite or complementary colors on the wall.
Right.
We're seeing them now kind of in situ with these pillows.
And I've got the cognac and the green.
Oh my gosh, Samantha, this is beautiful. Yeah.
Can I tell you one other thing?
Let's do it. What is it?
So here's the thing, is
Yeah.
when you're working with strong color, the key is repetition. So repetition of color in your art, repetition of color in texture, in style and vibe, you won't go wrong.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much for giving us the confidence to get some color in our lives. Samantha, thanks so much. We gotta take a break. We'll be right back. I have to sit in this chair.
Up next, Erica Wark opens up her closet and shares simple solutions to help clear the clutter with style to spare. That's coming up.
We are getting a sneak peek inside some of our experts' homes today. Here's why stylist Erica Wark thinks home is where the good stuff is.
Home to me is where I unwind and also where I love to host family and friends. We literally built this house around that concept, hosting. We love spending quality time together. So it's no surprise that my favorite space in the room is actually this entire main floor. We've got our family room where we love to be cozy and maybe curl up and watch a movie or have really great conversations. We've got a really huge dining room table so we could host as many people as possible for meals. And then of course, our kitchen. Corey and I love to cook, we love to entertain, and we have so many memories made in that kitchen. But y'all know I'm a stylist, so I of course have to show you my closet too. Welcome to my bedroom and also my closet. You might not know this, but my husband is actually third generation of a cabinetry business in Ottawa. So I was very blessed to be able to build these custom with my husband. We had so much fun creating this. And because I have done so many closets in my career, I knew exactly what I wanted, especially considering I was working with a small space. Height was incredibly important. Because I live in a row home, it's quite narrow, so I really wanted to use as much space as possible. But of course, the most exciting part is the inside. Tops are on the top, bottoms are on the bottom, and I went lightest to darkest, sleeveless to long sleeve, and then on the bottoms we went with shorts and skirts by category. I was also really specific with having extra compartments in the space. So I wanted everything to feel really accessible, so I had custom pullouts also put in, just to make grabbing things a lot easier. As you can see, I actually have 3 separate closets that are all combined, and I did this on purpose because it was easier to organize. So in my second cabinet, I have all of my dressier blouses, all of my blazers, and then all of my dressier pants. But my favorite feature is the pant pullout. I love it so much. So I've talked about my clothes, I've talked about my bags, I've talked about my accessories. You're probably wondering where my shoes are. I hate that I'm showing this to you right now, but I'm being honest. So you'll notice we're no longer in my room. We're in fact in my daughter Audrey's room. And this is where I house my shoes. In my defense, she wasn't here yet when I put my shoes here, okay? The shoes came first, then came Audrey. Priorities. I loved showing you around. Thank you for coming into my home. And Mary, I hope you'll come by sometime. I'd love to cook for you.
Name a date, Erica Wark. Everybody, please welcome Erica. Erica, thank you so much for letting us into your home.
It was so fun.
It's beautiful. Now, we were talking while we were watching that your husband and you actually designed the closets, and your husband did the kitchen.
Yes,
Yeah.
I am very blessed to be married to a cabinetry maker.
Yes, very key, very key. He did an amazing
It was not on
job.
purpose.
Yeah.
We started dating in high school long before I knew I was going to be a stylist,
Yeah.
but then our careers merged, and it's been a match made in heaven.
That is so great. Oh my gosh. Okay, now I'm really pumped because you got a few more tips for us today.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so what are we kind of talking about?
As you can see, I live in a row home, and we had to build those custom cabinets because there weren't really any closet systems.
Yeah.
So I also had to get crafty when it came to organizing storage solutions. So I really highly recommend some really great clear boxes, for
Okay.
example.
Now, before we get into that, if you like anything you see, just scan the QR code on your screen. Let's talk boxes.
Yes. So these boxes are fantastic because, as you can see, they're stackable, and you can buy them in lots of different sizes.
Oh, okay.
So these are great for items like belts, scarves, jewelry, anything that tends to be a little bit smaller, but that can easily become a mess.
That's the thing. If it's not contained, belts just like
fly everywhere.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the reason why I recommend clear is because then you can actually see everything.
Totally.
But you're still protecting the items from dust and wear. So it's really important to keep everything in one place. And again, then because it's clear, you know exactly what you're grabbing, especially if you're dealing with like low places, high places, whatever.
100%. That's true. Like if you put it in something that's a little opaque, you've got to do the label maker, which I do love a label maker.
Girl,
but
so do I.
Yeah, not everybody has one.
Exactly. I have to say, I love Megan's tips as well, because like if you looked in my kitchen, I've got all that labeled. And I love organizing.
You
it's
do.
my favorite thing.
I was going to say, Erica's like hobby is organizing. Her job is fashion. Yeah.
Very much so.
All right, what do we got going on here?
Okay, so now I also recommend really great storage bins. And again, similar to the boxes, you can find any size you want. So I always recommend to measure twice before you go out and purchase.
Totally.
Because you really want to make sure it fits the space that you need.
Yeah.
At home, for example, I have a lot of colorful tights. I'm actually wearing a pair right now. And so I like to actually store them in clear bins.
Oh, nice.
And by color, because I'm a bit of a lunatic.
You love a color code.
I love a color
Yeah.
code. And then that way I know exactly where all my items are. And again, it keeps them from getting torn
Yeah.
or ripped or misplaced.
And it
because
also
they're so tiny.
100%. And it gives you more space because, like, I have the bins under the bed. And then it's
Exactly.
hidden. You got the bed skirt. No one knows. You got it hidden.
It's brilliant.
Yeah. Okay, now let's talk about hanging solutions because I think this is a big thing. I think after watching Megan's edit, we're all like, oh, I need different hangers. What are we talking about?
Well, I absolutely love the velvet hangers, and I love them for so many reasons. First of all, you can get a 50-pack from Walmart for under $20, so the price is right. But what I love about them is the fact that they're so thin.
Yes.
So when you are working with a small space, every centimeter matters.
Yes, totally.
And so it's really nice to have a thin hanger. The other thing I love about the velvet hanger is the fabric of the shirt or dress or whatever hangs onto every particle of fabric of the velvet. So you're not dealing with that awkward triangle shoulder.
This little guy?
Listen, I love a shoulder pad moment.
Me too.
But not
an intentional
Not
one.
a pokey one.
Not a pokey one. No, definitely
That's not chic.
Yeah.
So then what I love about this is then what you can do is as you sort of collect your shirts or whatever that you've organized, you can actually pop them into this
What is this
storage
gadget?
solution.
Yeah.
This is under $5 from Walmart also, so
What?
very affordable.
Okay.
You're gonna pop all of your items together, and
I
you
know what's about
I
to
like
happen,
color
and I am
code and match.
thrilled about this.
And then you're gonna take this piece here, and you're gonna pop it down.
Ooh.
And guys, look at all that extra space I've created.
That was a thrill.
Inches.
That was a thrill. That was fantastic.
Maybe even a whole foot.
I was going to say. No, we've got a different one as well. What's going on here?
Yeah, okay, so then another storage solution that I recommend with hangers is actually getting a multi-faceted hanger system like this one that I like to use, for example, for like shorts and skirts. And it packs like up to 5 items. And the other thing I love about these is because they're metal clips, they're also very durable and very sturdy. So it can really hold a lot of weight, which is very important.
See, what I do typically is I have one of these and then I try to put 3 skirts on it and then the middle skirt falls.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about.
Well, Mary, now that I've taught you about this trusty gadget, you don't have to do that anymore.
No, I'm thrilled. I am thrilled. Now, what do we have going on this one?
Okay, so this is similar to the shirt one I demoed for you, except it's for pants. So maybe this is the solution you've been looking for.
Yeah.
So same system. I folded them all on, lightest to darkest.
That's how Erica does
and
her
then
closets.
again, we unleash all this extra room.
Look at all that space.
It's empty.
Erica?
Time to go shopping.
Time to go shopping. Absolute dream. Listen, we live in a similar size house. I get it. Every inch matters.
It really does.
It really does. And great job. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
We got to take a break. We'll be right back.
Tomorrow on an all-new episode, Alexis Hans shows how to get the look for less with fashion dupes that bring high style without the price tag. Plus, Vijaya Selvaraju has the tastiest restaurant dupes you can make right at home.
That's good. I'm not putting this down. Yeah, go for it.
And Leanna Lair-Perot reveals the best dollar store dupes that just might surprise you. That's tomorrow on an all-new episode.
That's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow for more of the good stuff.